Hi guys, hi everyone, Makashi Talks here and welcome to my YouTube channel. As you know, I'm here to talk about my favorite interest ever, which is language, or the love of language, or linguistics rather. Right? On today's episode, I will be defining what linguistics is. I will be tapping into the two main fields in linguistics and what linguists are. I'll also be talking about a related theory that I found that kind of supports what I'm saying and why I want to do or go about learning languages. And lastly, I found a word that you guys might find interesting as well, because I know you guys use it a lot, especially here in South Africa. So I was like, actually, let me just hoist something there so that you guys can, learn as well. You guys are probably going to be like, yeah. Hold on. Firstly, what is linguistics? Okay, so linguistics is derived from Latin, the word lingua, which means language or tongue. Tongue, I'm guessing because I don't know guys, but tongue, and it is the scientific study of language. So it focuses on the structure of language, how language is learned and acquired, and the relationship between language and culture, right? Further, it is the study of development in general or in particular languages. Linguists, right? What are they? What do they do? Linguists study language, right? Most of the time, linguists study one language and then run with it. They are not polyglots. They don't speak a lot of languages, contrary to popular belief. I thought they do. Turns out they don't. And there aren't always translators or interpreters the way we think. And not all of them go into speech therapy, which is a career that some linguists can go into. So that's very interesting. Sad to find that they don't speak 5 million languages, but it is what it is, right? And the two fields, or the two main fields in linguistics, so you find your core linguistic fields, and then you find your interdisciplinary linguistic fields. So your core linguistic fields, these are like your foundational okay, skills. These are things that you have to know. Get grade 1, okay? Not even grade 1, crèche. Crèche vibes. Core is crèche vibes. And then your interdisciplinary field is these are your specialty fields. Once you've acquired the main foundational skills, now you're like, yeah, I'm a big boss, kabangena. I'm on it. Those are your interdisciplinary fields. So let me just go into just a little bit into the core fields, what they are, and just a definition for each. So your core linguistic fields, these are rather phonetics, phonology, morphology, syntax, semantics, and lastly pragmatics. Now, because I wrote it down, I can't memorize all the definitions. Wrote it down, so let's get into the definitions of each. So your phonetics, this is the study and classification of speech sounds. So this is how humans produce and understand sound, right? And then you go into your phonology. Sometimes we confuse the two. Understandable, I still do, but hey, I'm still learning, and my most recent excuse is called lifelong learning. Hey. So phonology is the study of the organization of speech sounds as part of grammar, right? So phonology tells us which speech sound combinations are acceptable to form words in a language, and how different languages use different meaningful sounds. So this is word pronunciation. Guys, I don't know if I'm confusing it, but I remember this many years ago when I was in Filipino class learning the language. I was very confused, because there was these words where if you use a high pitch sound, you're saying something completely different to when you are saying ah instead of ah. just like, oh, I didn't say the same thing, it doesn't mean the same thing. No, okay. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I think that's what it is. And then your morphology. Morphology is the study of words and how they relate to one another in a language. So this is word formation, okay? This is made up of morphemes, which are the smallest units of meaning or grammatical function. Morphemes are the key to literacy, all right? So for example, an example that I found, and school, you probably learned this in school, but hey, why not again, right? Unreadable. Un is not. Read would be your root word, and then able is to be able, right? So unreadable. Word formation. Hello? Syntax. Syntax is the study of arrangement of words to form larger units such as sentences or phrases. So this is the structure of statements, okay? And then you get to semantics. I know you've heard semantics a lot. A lot of you guys use the word semantics. Now that I think of it, I think some of you guys have used it incorrectly, or maybe I just misunderstood. I don't know, guys. I really don't know. Semantics is the meaning of a word, phrase, or text. This largely determines our reading comprehension, all right? And then you get to your pragmatics. I know pragmatics because sometimes I'm like, context, bro. Context. Like, you know, if you actually said where that took place and everything else that you said would have made sense. Okay? Pragmatics is the study of how context contributes to meaning. So language that is not directly spoken, right? And an example that I have, for example, Makashi, what would you like for your birthday? And I respond by saying, oh my gosh, jewelry looks so lovely on me, right? While I did not say I would like jewelry for my birthday, that is what I mean. Guys, interesting, isn't it? Very, very interesting. I mean, did you know that? You probably did. Honestly, you probably did, but lifelong learning, guys, lifelong learning. And then you get to your interdisciplinary fields. So there are a couple of them. I'm just going to name them, but I'm going to get into, or define rather, the two that I would like to focus on, okay? So your interdisciplinary fields, there's your psycholinguistics, your social linguistics, applied linguistics, computational, and historical linguistics. The two fields that I am mostly interested in, that's your social linguistics and your historical linguistics, because I just feel like they go together, you know, history and how we use it today in our social environments, language, like where it comes from, and guys, come on, you know they go together. You know what I'm saying. It only makes sense. Social linguistics, what's that all about? Well, social linguistics is the study of the relationship. This includes how social factors such as class, gender, and ethnicity affect language variation and use. And then you go into your historical linguistics. Historical linguistics, love it. This is the history of language, studying their origins, development, and the relationships between language families. When I get to that word of the day, you will understand. Here's an interesting fact. Historical linguistics is also called diachronic linguistics, and it is the study of how language develops or changes over time. That was very interesting. I did not know there's an AKA, also known as, you know, for with it. You know, it's like how in the mining towns, there's Spanagalo, which is a mixture of languages to form one language. And they all understand each other. Interesting, right? Language development to accommodate social settings. Guys. Okay. The related theory that I found is by Lev Vygotsky. Okay, so his theory is social constructivism. Constructivism is actually a theory that was coined by Jean Piaget, okay? Lev was like, okay, Jean, I hear you, but listen to this. How about learning by integrating with the people, right? Learning is a shared social process. And I'm like, Lev is onto something. Lev is onto something. Okay, I have a definition here. Let's listen to it. Learning as a process where social interaction is key for obtaining knowledge, right? By interacting with others and their environment, because learning is a shared social process. Yes, I believe it. Example, when I was in the Philippines and I started hanging out with my classmates more, that's when I started understanding the language more, as opposed to when I was in the Philippines, but I was hanging out with the Filipino Americans who spoke English most of the time. It was a thing, oh yeah, I hear you guys, but we all speak in the same language. But when I started hanging out with my Filipino classmates, I was like, I understand you now. You guys can't talk about me anymore because I understand what you're saying, right? By hanging out with them in their environments, culture, and I was able to obtain knowledge, understand, learn, acquire language. Shh, guys, hey, think about it. How many times have you tried to learn language on your own, but it just didn't work out? And you started hanging out with someone who spoke that language, and the more you hang out with them, you're just like, ay man, mara I understand you. I understand what you're saying, because learning is a shared social process. Lev was onto something. Okay, listen to this word of the day, right? In South Africa, we have a word called Pikinini, right? And we use it to refer to child or small, right? Pikinini. I found that Pikinini is actually derived from Pikin and comes from Portuguese language or word pequenino. So Portuguese, pequenino, and then we decided, okay, pequenino, Pikini, and then it came to South Africa and was Pikinini, right? How? Because in other Creole languages, it's Pikini, right? In other African languages, it's Pikin without the I at the end. So what happened? What happened while it was traveling? Who decided, no, let's modify it so that we can understand it, right? It's no longer their word, it's ours now. So let's change it a bit, jiggle it, and then Pikinini, right? The other guys, they decided, no, Pikini, no, let's keep it at Pikin. And I'm like, oh, okay. Did you know that? No. But we use the word a lot in South Africa. Pikinini, smaller child. Oh, Jamaican patois, Pikini, small or child. Same thing, just, it traveled, changed, and now, hey, Pikinini, Pikini. We use it a lot here, in other countries as well. Interesting, right? Interesting. Well, guys, this is where I'm going to end for the day. My nerves are like all over the place because, it's so nerve-wracking talking about something that you don't even know. So I'm done for the day. It's all good. Thank you for coming to my YouTube channel to listen to me talk about my favorite interest ever. Guys, thank you. Stay tuned in and take care.